Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and dive into W3 schools. So hopefully you created the account last class or last session, or however you want to see it. But okay, really we should be starting with the introduction, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the HTML home. See, basically in the home page, they throw at you a lot of different reference points here. A lot of these link to different parts of the class layout over here. Like you click Canvas and let's see what it does. Yeah, see, it just takes you over to there. Just down the list a little bit. They have, let's see. Yeah, the keyboard shortcuts. I guess it was all in this this list, the different elements, how to add audio and all that, but none of this really matters. The home page kind of threw me off because I saw this, and then I saw the I went to the HTML examples, and these are all the examples that we'll be trying throughout the course. And then I got down to here, and I wasn't sure what they meant right here. What did they want? But it's the title of the paragraph, but it didn't mention that anywhere before that. So they kind of threw me off, and it's like, well, this isn't a very good layout here. But the thing is, they just kind of made a home page as like an overview. But this would be handy if you need to refer to something, if you can't remember what a tag was. Or down here, you have your tag list, your attributes. These are all the references right here. Canvas, audio. They're all right here at the bottom, or you could access them through your home page. But where we need to start is introduction. Now, some of this may be, is it going to work? Come on. Some of this may be repetitive to what I went over last week when I was just kind of giving you the basic overview of HTML, but we'll run through it. It never hurts to hear it twice. It's a standard markup language for creating web pages. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Hypertext, try to think of like a hyperlink. So within your text, you have text that has different things that it can do. You have different commands to put stuff into different parts of the website, and different commands to do things like take your text to the next line. So within this website, after web pages, they didn't hit enter to start typing this. They had a command in here called BR, because the compiler, when you code it, it does not recognize when you hit the enter key, but it will recognize the spaces. It describes the structure of a web page. It consists of a series of elements. Okay, now I think that they're going to go with this is the element and this is the content of the element. HTML elements tell the browser how to display the content. The element label pieces of content, such as this is the heading, this is the paragraph, this is the link, etc. Okay, so here's a simple HTML document. Try it yourself. I'm not a huge fan of that because it doesn't actually let you try it yourself unless you delete it and then run it, which you're more than welcome to do. But I think that at this point, let me see what they have here. So this doc type HTML, this designates this as an HTML5 document. HTML5 is not always compatible with all web browsers. We did not use that last week. I just kind of showed you what a couple of the tags did. Actually, this is still from last week. Okay, so they had a title, they had a body, let me see, they had a heading. We'll make test. Well, we'll leave that here. We'll do H1. And really, test should be in between paragraph tags. I'll space it out just to make it easier to read and see. Okay, so that's pretty much everything that they did, except for we might as well get in the habit of, oops, exclamation point. I noticed that they made it all capitals. Let's follow suit on that. Test is huge. Why is test huge? Something that simple can throw everything off. The heading is supposed to be big. The body is not. Okay. Okay, so far what we've added for last week is, did I remember to put the heading tags in? No, I did not. The heading tags define basically, this is everything that's not in the body, everything that is going to show up in places like this. And for a while, title is all we're going to work with. They call them the meta content is how they phrase that. Save. Yeah, and it doesn't change anything because the title automatically, the browser recognizes that what is in the title command is metadata. So let's get out of here and keep moving. So we added that we're going to start using heading commands. We added that we are going to put this in there so the browsers know it's HTML5. And we saw that H1 would make the very first heading big. You know what? Actually, with that being said, let me show you what H2 does. And this goes all the way down to, I must have threw something in there that oh yeah, right there. And this will go all the way down to H7. They'll just get smaller and smaller each time. So you can have your heading, my favorite cars, then your subheading, Mitsubishi, Ford Escort, whatever they may be. So let's go ahead back over to here and see what we have next. Oh, they're going to explain it all. Okay, I think I already covered this. Declares it as an HTML5, yes. Is the root of an HTML page. The HTML element is the root of the HTML page. The head element contains the meta information about the page. Metadata being anything that is outside of the body of the page. The title element specifies a title for the page, which is shown in the browser's title bar or in the tab. Right here. Here's what's in between their title commands. Introduction to HTML. The body element defines the body, which is everything in here. It's a container for all visible content, headings, paragraphs, images, hyperlinks, tables, lists, and etc. So we learned that H1 is a paragraph. I showed you guys H2, and the P describes what is a paragraph rather than what is a heading. Okay, so change your thinking from last lecture. They are describing this whole thing as the element, and they are describing this as the content. I don't know if you guys remember that from the last lecture or not. BR, let me show you what BR does. That's important too. You want to write a paragraph in here? I'm sure you cannot wait to start writing paragraphs on web pages, so I'd better show you this. Actually, take it up instead of putting a space in. Test line 2. But wait, I put them on separate lines. What the heck? No, what we have to do, since it won't recognize the enter key, we have to pull one of those. You put that command in there, which tells it to take the data to the next line. This BR stands for break. Oh, okay, I guess it's worth mentioning that the BR command is an empty element because there's no content in it. It just tells the browser to move to the next line. Okay, I think we went over this last week, but I'll hit it again briefly. The purpose of a web browser is to read HTML and display them correctly. There's different types of programs that read different kinds of languages. You have operating system language, which a lot of times uses C++ or C#, and that's what creates everything you see on your desktop. You can use a Visual Basic coding language to create a text editor or Notepad or something like that, but web browsers read HTML. Okay, this is a good way to visualize things. We've kind of already gone over it, but I like how they recessed everything. That way you can see that everything is in between these two tags, and then then you have your heading tags up here and your body tags. This describes a hierarchy. This is a hierarchy of flags. Kind of feel like they should have pushed the paragraph command over one more, but that's okay. Okay, here's some of the history that we went over in the first lecture. Tim Berners-Lee invented, first off, the World Wide Web, and then he invented HTML. So before HTML was invented, the World Wide Web would have been for nothing more than transferring files. There were no websites at that point. You can look through and see all the different versions of HTML. We are up to HTML5. And now, we have the different editions of it, so you can go ahead and look through that and click on those different things if you'd like to, explore it further. Okay, learn HTML using Notepad, which is on Microsoft, or TextEdit, which is on Apple. And I think I showed you guys last time, if you're using TextEdit, it is not set to the plain text by default. So you have to go up to, when you first open it, you go up to Format. I'll try to show you on here. Format, and then you would have the option to make it as plain text. And then when you save it as .html, it'll open as a website for you. Okay, I'm sure you guys know how to open Notepad. You could, all Windows guys and actually Mac guys have a search bar too. You can just type it in right here. If not, it would be in your. Is this going to open for me? It would be in your accessories folder, if I can find it. I never use this anymore. I just use that search bar for everything. Okay, yeah, Windows people just use this. This new menu that they have is just it's difficult to navigate. There should be an applications or something in here. Just not seeing it. But Mac people, you would launch Launchpad and you would find it in there somewhere. Oh, Windows accessories right there. Notepad. If you want to, you can click on it. You should be able to move it over here to your start menu, or right click on it. There we go. Pin to start. If you're going to be using it a lot, you might want to do that. Okay, all this we've already pretty much gone over. There's nothing new here. You just saw that. Okay, saving the HTML page. I'm going to go over this one more time. You go to File, Save As. Save file type must be set to all files, but it can't be .txt or your file name will be index.htm.txt. Oh, I should have mentioned that in the last lecture. HTML is what I'm used to using, index.html, but you can just leave it as HTML and it'll still work just fine. They've changed that. Okay, we did this already. Alright, so I'm going to show you a few more commands. Let's see what comes next. And then I will give you an assignment description, but it'll be explained right now too. Okay, so within our paragraph, this is how you make a hyperlink in your website. It stands for a hypertext reference equals, and we'll just try Google. It usually makes you include that. The A stands for anchor, hypertext reference, google.com. I'm just going to click here. I'm going to close out the anchor tag. I know this is a little unusual how this is set up, but it'll make sense after you do it a few times. Let's see if it works. Perfect. Okay, do I have any images on my... I do have an image on my desktop, one of the thumbnails for a YouTube video. Right there. Now, I'm going to put a little activity in Canvas that goes over the difference between an absolute and a relative link. An absolute link, you have to have the entire file name, C, users, owner, desktop, thumbnail.png. A relative link is when the file referring to the other file is in the same folder. And a lot of times you can get away with just putting, here, I'll just show you. Here, let me actually put our BR in there. So I'm going to go, oops, I forgot the open flag. IMG for image, SRC, oops, equals, you know what, I'm just going to try it first. Just see if it'll pop up that basically. Yep, there it is. So that is how you add an image. If you don't want the image to be that big, you add some attributes. I'm going to try 50 for 50%. Let's see if that works. It may not. It did not. I think I might be missing something right here. Let's just take a quick look. I'm not going to spend too much time looking for it, but HTML image size. Oh, I guess I just forgot that little backslash right there. Let's try that. have that closed out. See, I like doing it on percentage because it doesn't skew it. Okay, that worked. I wouldn't really consider that to be 50%, and it rarely does work out perfectly. It may be doing pixels. It may be doing pixels rather than percentage. Let's just try 500 and just see what happens. I'd have to say it's automatically doing pixels for some reason. It used to be you had like a scale of like 1 to 7, and then it was you did percentages, and now they seem to use pixels more and more. One more thing I want to show you, an attribute to the body command. Now remember, this whole thing is an image, that's why that's still white. But you can change your background body color by adding this attribute to your body command. And you can also use, well, you know what, it's probably in W3 schools, we'll get used to using this. Tag attributes. Colors. The hexadecimal code. So I'll make the body 4 zeros and 2 Fs. Because if you just use red, blue, violet, whatever, you're kind of limited. If you find these tables, then you have just a ton of options. So let's see if that worked. There you go. One last thing that might get you a little bit excited, I'll give you this to play with. I'm actually going to put it between 2 BRs. Open tag MARQUEE for a scrolling marquee. And you can surround an image or a hyperlink with this command too. And there it is. So I will put this into the assignment description also, but I would like for you to make a simple website. I want you to be creative with it. I want you to have fun with it. This was all done for demonstration. This looks bad. Oh, you know what? Let me show you one more thing you might like. My first heading, you might want that to be nested in center commands. So I feel like at this point I've given you enough that you can make a pretty cool little website. It can be about whatever you want. You can use whatever images you want. Don't forget to save your images in the same folder as your actual website. That way you can use relative links and you don't have to do the entire file name. But I should show you that also before I'm done with this lecture. If you do need to use an absolute link, it knows to look in the C drive, users, and then our desktop thumbnail.png. File save. And you can see it doesn't change anything. But if I moved this, well, naturally I would have to remap it. But if I wanted to point to something that's maybe in my pictures or something like that, you would have to use the absolute link. So that's everything for this lecture. Like I said, try to have fun with this. Be creative. Make it silly. Just try to make your layout better than mine, because like I said, I was just kind of going through and demonstrating. So I will make an assignment description for you as well, so you don't have to dig back through this video again, and see you next time.